Here we are at Lake Johnson Park. To start off, we're in the parking area. A couple of risks I came up with associated with a parking area such as this is, since the parking lot is unattended, you could have some theft, vehicle theft, stuff of that nature. And since they have no staff here, there's no one really to prevent that. As you can see, this is more kind of the parking area, how it's set up. And, there's nobody monitoring it, so break-ins could obviously occur, and they don't have any signs saying like, hey, you should protect your stuff. So as a kind of a solution to this, I came up, they should post signs in the parking lot telling people and warning of the risk that, hey, the parking lot isn't supervised, so any valuables or belongings you have, you should definitely put them up or secure them, or just take them with you on your walk as you get here. As we keep walking, there's trails, nice trail systems through the woods here. And then it obviously leads out to the lake. They have a little recreation area where I guess seasonally you can rent boats and stuff like that, like canoes and stuff like that. That brings me to another major risk. I'd say the biggest risk associated with having a lake is obviously drowning. So you can launch boats here, I think just small like watercraft, and obviously drowning would be a big concern if you fall out, etc. So in order to prevent that, I'm pretty sure they already require everyone to wear a life jacket that gets in the water or that is in a watercraft. And then furthermore, I think they should have a lot of patrols out saying or looking and making sure everybody's behaving safely. And then they should have a number too that you can call other than 911 to get kind of immediate support when you're here. As we keep walking, we'll take you by the kind of visitor center here. So here's kind of their boat launching area. A major thing that they actually do say is you're boating at your own risk. So there's one, I guess, management technique put in place is they're telling you, hey, if you get in the water, it's really at your own risk. It's just a big body of water, so obviously lots of dangers. It goes all the way over there, back into a corner over there, so it's really out of sight of all staff, so you kind of have to be vigilant to avoid drowning. But also with people, they don't allow swimming here, but I mean there's no barrier in between the water and obviously the shore or anything, so I mean you could fall in. There's trail systems through the woods which will go in or go on later, but you can obviously fall in. Lots of things could happen that maybe aren't anticipated, but it's definitely a risk with a body of water like this. And again, to avoid that, I would just have staff doing regular patrols around here, making sure that everyone's being safe and that nothing really does happen, warning against what could happen. Also posting lots of signs telling people maybe areas of concern that they think people could slip in, or really the dangers associated with being around a body of water like that. As we keep going, across a bridge here. A lot of people like to bring their dogs here. So people walk in. Kind of the view from the bridge. It goes all the way really across the lake here. I think another one of the major areas of concern is people just kind of falling while they're out here, whether it be slipping on this material. I mean, it's just wood, what the bridge is, so obviously that could pose its own concerns with rain. Obviously lots of people out here to get crowded, but a big concern is just kind of the lack of supervision. I mean, if you look around the lake here, the surrounding land that is access to, I guess, park goers, I mean, there's no way for anybody to see you. If you happen to fall, step in a hole, do something to get hurt, I mean, you're kind of out of luck. So, I mean, it could be potentially fatal too. You don't have your cell phone, you drop your, you step in a hole, like I said, and you're kind of out here just stranded. So in order to combat that, not that you can totally prevent that, but I would just post signs telling people, hey, to be vigilant and that you're entering the park at your own risk. They can't protect you, obviously, from everything. And then as we come to the end of this side of the bridge, there's a trail that goes up into the woods, and it's not really marked, but it's clearly a trail. I mean, all the trees and everything have been cut and removed, so it's clearly a trail. And again, there's no signage saying, hey, be aware of anything, because that brings me to my last major risk associated with just a recreation. See, it just kind of goes up here, is obviously dangers from wildlife, as we see a squirrel run off there. Wildlife, whether it be snakes, ticks, obviously a huge area of concern. It's just a trail like through the woods, goes all the way around the entire lake. And in order to combat, obviously, their risk associated with that, I would just post, again, signs telling people, hey, there's obviously wildlife in the woods, so you kind of have to be aware of that and check yourself for ticks when you get home. If you come into contact with wildlife, kind of what you should do. And that's how I would address kind of the wildlife concern, whether it be fox, whatever, snakes, again, how to kind of handle that situation. And overall, I don't think the cost associated with it be too much. I'd say maybe a few $1,000s just to get maybe more staff seasonally or when they need it, and more signage. But I mean, it wouldn't be anything crazy. You can see the trail, expensive, and the city of Raleigh could definitely afford a few $1,000s with the big budgets they have.